I I really don't know what to say, people. This thing has been in development for more than a year. Hell, I thought this thing was going to become vaporware, but finally getting it done. My review, my full review, touching every single aspect. I've had 12 months to talk about this. Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 for the PlayStation 3. I did say on numerous occasions that I already had this video more or less completed. But after looking back on those, I wasn't really happy with how I recorded them, you know? I looked at them and I'm like, they're okay, but I just wanted to do it in the style of a real talk. I wanted to get it done how I've been doing some of my more recent videos, which I think some of you guys enjoy more, so I decided to do it. So let's begin, shall we? Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 was released in fall of 2010. This marks the first time that a Naruto Ultimate Ninja game has been released on any platform outside the PlayStation family, for the first time appearing on the Xbox 360. Now I know there's going to be a lot of debate about, oh, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, which platform is better for this game? I can just tell you from a personal fact, I have played it on both versions and they both run the game pretty damn good. There is really no difference how you would see like Call of Duty Black Ops on Xbox versus PS3. You'd see like frame drops, screen tearing, those kind of comparisons. There's nothing like that. The game runs smooth, crystal clear, same loading times, everything. However, there is one key difference that could affect your purchase for the game. If you own the game on the PlayStation 3, there is a 5 GB install. Like most PS3 games, I don't really know, it was fucking 2010 when this game came out, and they're still having installs, like, really, CyberConnect 2 installs. And it really just comes down to how many friends you have on each platform. If you prefer to play it on the Xbox 360 to play with your friends, get it on the 360. If you have friends on the PS3, get it on the PS3. To me, they're pretty much equal in my eyes, so I just want to cover that before we continue on with the review. Now, let's get started, shall we? This probably has to be one of the most hyped anime games I have ever seen in existence. Like, just to witness all of the press that was going around for this game, like, I wouldn't believe it. You would see, like, major gaming sites doing full coverages on it. You would see, like, in-depth interviews. Like, even in, like, GameStop and Toys R Us, you would see, like, commercials for the game. And these weren't like, oh, Naruto, pick up the latest game now. Like, these were legit, like, something you would see that they would put on TV, like, it was very hyped, it was very anticipated, and especially considering that it was a sequel to the previous title, which was a PS3 exclusive, and the fact that this was going more farther and farther into the Shippuden story, everybody was just so hyped about it. It was multiple consoles. It's just like, wow, this game is going to be freaking win. And was it? Well, I think the review will speak for itself, so let's begin, shall we? I'm going to separate this into 3 separate categories. The first one is going to be the story/RPG mode, the second one is going to be the character roster along with the fighting style, and the third is going to be, like always, my overall thoughts on the game and final nitpicks. So let's begin with the story, shall we? Now this is a very interesting thing about the story mode. For anyone who's expecting the huge hub of Konoha, the really detailed one where you would just run around the entire village, the scope was very epic. That mode isn't returning in this game. Sorry, people say that, it could have been so much bigger. I mean, because you'd be going to all the separate villages, just like, whoa, this is going to be as big as, like, Fallout 3 or Oblivion. For some unknown reason, CyberConnect 2 decided to downsize it, and all you're really doing is just running around from village to village. There's no vast exploration, there's no big open world sense like there is in the other Naruto games on the Xbox 360. It's pretty dull. You're limited to just jumping around and then talking with NPCs. And honestly, I thought they could have done a lot more with the RPG mode, considering that they had something that was already established in the first Storm game, which was that RPG mode. All they need to do is expand on that and bring it to the other villages, put in, certain memorable places where you fought, and I think it would have been all gravy, but they just didn't want to do that, and I personally don't know why. And so that's why it felt pretty much repetitive, just going from the same place to the same place to the same place. It got dull really, really quick, and for that I'm gonna have to take some points down, because it's like you got something that wasn't entirely broken. It kind of worked, in the first game. They could have expanded on that, but then they kind of took it a few steps back, and they reverted to more of the PlayStation 2 style of the RPG mode, like how you saw Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2, Ultimate Ninja 3, something similar to that. This is really sort of going to tie down the whole experience, because, like I said, it does get monotonous really fast, doing the same repetitive missions over and over again. There really wasn't much variety. So usually perform a show here, fight a character there. It gets boring really quick. I really can't say anything more. But, however, if you can avoid that, this is where the game truly shines. And I'm pretty sure everybody has told you this already. The story mode itself, the actual storytelling, by far, this is the best storytelling I've ever seen in any anime licensed game. Like, literally, you could obviously tell that they were trying to make this as cinematic as possible. It may be the same dialogue from the series, but you have more of an epic sense because it's not just cutouts talking like flap, 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 flap. You've got some moving with the characters. They move around. They recreate really emotional scenes from the anime, like Gaara's death, like the whole Jiraiya and Pain thing, Sasuke versus Itachi. And I will tell you for a fact that the Jiraiya's death, I've never seen something so executed in motion from both versions, English and Japanese. The scene played out perfectly. Another great scene that does deserve some recognition is the scene right after Sasuke and Itachi fought, where Sasuke is learning the truth about the Uchiha's origins. That was really good. It felt really cinematic, like the anime. So I really have to commend CyberConnect 2 for that, because the total immersion, you know, they really told things. In some cases, I thought they were told even better than the anime did. That's just my personal opinion. They really, really tried hard to make this like the anime, if not better than the anime, so I have to give them props for that. If you have played any of the other anime titles, it's not really specific, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, you do realize that they do miss out on several elements from the stories, but I think if you play these games, you are a fan of the series, so you already know what happens. They do leave out certain fights. They aren't major fights that are going to affect the plot, but some things are left out during the Pain and Naruto fight, like certain side plots. I would have liked them to include those fights in there as just extras in between, just so you're not having epic fight after epic fight after epic fight. But it doesn't really harm the game too much because the other fights make up for it, which again leads into another shining part about the game, which is the boss fights. Holy hell, those boss fights. Oh my freaking god. Like, if I had to have just one part of the game, it would be those boss fights. Like, not only are they cinematic, but they really pump up your adrenaline, just the things you see on screen. It's a visual orgasm. Like, it really is. Cell shading at its best. Now, I do have to mention that since these are in-game, they are sort of, they are, well, they took some liberties with the fights, so they are a tad bit more epic than the anime. Well, tad bit more epic than the anime. So if you're expecting to see some fights from the anime, just like how they recreated it, I'll just tell you the game takes it to a whole new level. I'll just be frank on that. A great fight that just illustrates how the scope of the game is so huge is the Sasuke versus Itachi fight. The in-between cutscenes when you would see Sasuke charging up his Kirin, it's like, damn, I want to see this shit in live action. It blends in regular gameplay along with cutscenes and then in between quick time events that I was like, wow. In my opinion, that is the best part overall about the video game. If you complained about any of the other things, you didn't like one certain aspect, everybody just goes back for the boss fights because they are just that good, because they just, it's not just immersion in the game, it's just like, you don't know, I don't know what to say. So that wraps up part 1 of the review on the story mode. If you can get past the really lackluster RPG, just repetitive side missions altogether, if you want to 100% it, then I really think you're going to find a shining gem, because the way the story is told, through the cinematic cutscenes and the great dialogue, oh, that's another thing we have to talk on, the dub for the game, the English and Japanese, which one is better, which one is more superior. Personally, I played the game through in both English and Japanese, and while I do gravitate more towards the Japanese, I do give the English people their props for their performance because it was good. It's just that they aren't given proper voice direction. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, what are you doing? Like, I honestly wish Funimation got the license to Naruto instead, because we would be hearing a totally different dub, honestly. But that doesn't stop, that's just me ranting, that doesn't stop the dub from being enjoyable. I mean, people have their own preferences. If you want to listen to it in English, listen to it in English. If you want to listen to Japanese, listen in Japanese. End of story, people. Gameplay, the main part, the fighting system, the mechanics, the character roster, and this is where really I really am disappointed this time around, CyberConnect 2. The philosophy that I mentioned earlier in this video, which is one step forward, two steps back, it really applies in this case because the fighting system has evolved from the first Storm game. They have worked on several things. They have improved the support character system. It plays more like a traditional fighter, how you would have an attack type, a guard type, a balance type, you know, those types. Now these types really affect the way you play the game. Let's just take for example, you have Squad 7. You have Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. Sasuke and Sakura are your support characters. Now, if you set Sakura to a defense, whenever the enemy would initiate their ultimate jutsu, Sakura will jump in the way and she will defend you. Whereas Sasuke, if you are charging up your chakra and you want to get some distance away from your enemy, Sasuke will throw shuriken or kunais or a bomb or whatever. So it really turns the tide in the battle. And that is one of the most welcome additions to the series because that was one of the things I complained about in the original games. The support characters really were annoying. I mean, I don't think you could have turned them off in the first game, but now that you have the option to, I recommend playing with them on because it's a totally different experience with them on because it really feels like you're getting good teamwork out of it. And now the part that I mentioned, one step forward, two steps back, what the hell happened? Honestly, not only have they not bothered to improve the combat, it's still a repetitive button masher. They have taken away things that the Ultimate Ninja series is really notable for. Ultimate Ninja especially is known for its customization. Like if you played Ultimate Ninja 3, you played Ultimate Ninja 5 especially, you know that you can customize your sub-jutsus, you can customize your ultimate jutsus, you can have multiple ultimate jutsus, multiple sub-jutsus, and that was really one of the most things. It was sort of like a mini character, not character creator, but character you know, customizer. There we go, that's the word. But they removed those features. Now you're really limited on the specials. Only certain characters have certain ultimate jutsu changes. Most of them are really limited to just one. You know, they only have like one ultimate jutsu. Certain characters like Naruto and Sasuke will have different ones because they have alternate forms like Sage Mode and Akatsuki Sasuke. But everybody else is just the same thing overall. No changes, no customization. Just nothing. And the ultimate jutsus were also took a hit because not only can you not customize them, they were also downgraded to like 3 to 5 seconds, you know. And anyone who plays the Ultimate Ninja games, it's not really so much on the gameplay, it's more about marveling about how cinematic the jutsus are. It didn't matter really the length of it because it was really epic. It was a cinematic treat to see something that would happen, even if it was a minute long. First Hokage! Okay, I'm fine. No one really knows why they really took out the ultimate jutsus, but CyberConnect 2 did say that it was for better connecting with online so people wouldn't disconnect during the ultimate jutsu. But then again, if you really wanted to stop you from disconnecting, then issue a penalty. Because if people rage quit really because they're caught in an ultimate jutsu, that's their own fault, you know. You shouldn't penalize the other players for that. You should just put a disconnecting penalty. You know, like if you disconnect in the middle of a game, you know, there should be a way to filter it out if they leave manually or if something happens, then you should lose like 200 battle points or something. You know, I don't think you should take it out on the game, you know, because these jutsus last like literally 3 seconds long. Maybe this is a pet peeve of mine, maybe it's a pet peeve of somebody else, but whatever, it still kind of pissed me off. And the fact that the combat system wasn't refined. Okay, that was weird. The fact that the combat system wasn't even refined one bit, you know, it kind of pissed me off. At the end of the day, it just became a button masher, you know, people pick the same spam characters. It's like, you look at other games like Dragon Ball Z, Raging Blast 2, that had a really deep fighting system, and it's like Naruto, it's like, what? Like, and if you want to take the Ninja Battle online, finally for the first time in an arts game, you have a good working online system. And I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised with it. I did have a couple of good matches. I didn't play it too much since there were a lot of other games at the time, but it was enjoyable for the time period I played. You've got the problems that you do in any other fighting game. You've got people who disconnect, you've got people who use spam characters, you've got lag. When it works beautiful, but when you got those people who just disconnect because they're so goddamn worried about their status online, it's really sad. Are you that serious? Are you that serious about your online rank in a fucking video game, an anime video game? And this is a message out to all those people who are literally concerned to the brim. I'm not just talking about you care about it, you're concerned about it. Go get laid, please. What sucks is that you can't really get into a room with your friends, so it's just 1v1. You can search for somebody, ranked or not ranked. You can invite your friend, that's it. There's no rooms where you can all join and then you can just pick who you want to fight. You know, I would have wanted something like that because I play games like Mortal Kombat and I played like Blaze Blue and they had rooms, and then this one didn't. It's like, we've reached the final point, my friends. The overall verdict on Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2. Well, I will say this, the game is good. You know, the things it does right, but the philosophy applies 1 step forward, 2 steps back. What CyberConnect 2 improves is greatly appreciated, such as the story mode and the boss fights, but the things that they don't improve on it, and they also take away some things. You know, it kind of applies that philosophy. I think that works best for this game. Would I recommend this to any Naruto fan? Yes, I would, because it is one of the better made Naruto games out there. You can tell where they put the time and effort into this one as opposed to other games that have been released and are still being released these days. Like I said, I don't give my new video reviews number scores anymore. I think what I conveyed in this review is what you will think I thought on the game, I guess. So that is my review for Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2. I know it's been a really long time, you guys, but I promise I get this out. And, hey, now that I can upload videos past 15 minutes, this is the way I think I might do my reviews, because I can get my full thoughts on it. No fucking 3-minute thing. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm NGS signing out, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.